Hey guys, happy Friday the 13th, full harvest moon in Pisces. I actually read that a harvest moon occurring on Friday the 13th, I don't think another one's going to happen till like the 2070s. So I'm probably going to be dead because I'd be close to 100 at that point because I'm an 86 baby. So that's just crazy to think about. But yeah, hope everyone's having a good full moon so far. I have to say, as a water sign, I hate it when the moon is in a water sign because, or as a water moon sign, I should say. My sun sign is an air sign. My three main signs are Aquarius, Sun, and then Cancer moon, and then Leo rising, which I'm still trying to figure out the Leo rising part because it just seems bizarre for my personality, but I'm still trying to figure out astrology. So here's Prue, Princess Prudence. She's gonna jump up in my lap, guys. So yeah, every single time the moon is in a water sign, I tend to feel even more sensitive, which is ridiculous because I'm sensitive enough as it is. But today, like, ow, woman, really? Just reached up with like one claw and was like, I'm gonna get you. I am, or even today, something very minuscule that normally wouldn't have bothered me happened, and I was like on the verge of tears. It's just ridiculous. So this tends to happen whenever the moon is in a water sign, particularly if it is a full moon. I notice it's even more intense, and since I'm a Cancerian moon, I kind of think that has a lot to do with it. I want to find out more about my natal chart because I feel like it would answer a lot of questions yep, there she is. I've always had about myself. Oh, big chunky Maine Coon butt. So hopefully sometime I can get my natal chart read. And but yeah, sorry I'm wearing another Seattle hoodie, but honestly the last few days have been very much that wonderful fall weather, and I've been homesick, and I just want to wear these. That's just what I want to wear. Anyway, so this video is going to be partially a ramble, just kind of for the full moon fun, and then the other part I thought would be really cool to do a reading for myself on camera and show you guys what cards I come up with for this full moon. So first things first, I'm going to share just a couple of things I have either gotten or worked on, just because I want to share these with you guys. As you all know, I recently got the Halloween Tarot. Well, I'm sorry, I keep clearing my throat. By the way, guys, my 4-year-old has been in school for a week, and he already has a stuffy nose. So I'm probably going to be sick with that. That should be enjoyable. Totally looking forward to that. Only not. Where do you want to be? There? Okay. Anyway, so I was watching YouTube a few nights ago, just trying to relax. You see the ear twitching. And then I came across Tom Benjamin's video he did last year for what was on his table, what decks were on his table for the month of October. And I was like, ooh, I love October decks. So I'm going to take a peek at this. And I saw that he had modded the Halloween Tarot, which I just got. And he colored the borders black and edged it in black. And I thought, holy crap, I want to do this. Well, I attempted, and I'll pull it out because I screwed up the fool. Look at that big smudge. So, I haven't finished modding this one yet, but clearly, as you can see, I trimmed it because I was like, well, guess we're trimming it now. This is what we're doing. And then Lisa from Supportive Tarot actually gave me a good tip on how to get this smudge off, but since I already trimmed it, I won't be coloring the borders, at least on there. So, but I did color the borders on the back, as you can see. a good side-by-side comparison. Once you trim it, you still have this little bit of white border. So I just took a black Sharpie and colored that in, and then I edged the deck in black, which, as you can see, I think I still need to do. I did a second coat, but it looks, or maybe that's just light reflecting, I'm not sure. It still kind of looks like there's a little bit I need to go over. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it came out. It looks better in person, but as you can see, like all the black and the orange on it, I just love it. It's so Halloween-y, and that actually is really pretty trimmed. So I worked on that last night, and it took me most of the night. Sorry guys, oh my god. Every video lately, like for the last month, it's just been nothing but me clearing my throat. And of course the onslaught of germs hasn't even started yet. Everybody send some healing magic my way, because here we go. When your kid is in school, you are at the mercy of all the viruses. So that was my fun little mod I did for the Halloween tarot, and I'm pretty happy with it, as long as I don't throw things everywhere. And then the other thing is, I had the deck Tarot de la Nuit, and I've had it for about a year now, and I just couldn't connect with the deck. So I put it up for trade, and it's been a few months since I initially put it up for trade, and I didn't really get anybody interested, and then suddenly someone who I noticed is actually in Lisa's supported tarot group, so I'm like, I wonder if they watch, you know, all the people on TarotTube, basically. She traded me for my Tarot de la Nuit, and I got the Ancestral Path from her. So I was really, really excited to finally do a trade for a deck that I really wanted. And if you guys don't know about this deck, first of all, it's really big, so I don't know how I'm going to shuffle it, but the amazing part about this deck is that the suits are the Arthurian legend, Native American legends, and then Egyptian mythology and Japanese myths as well. And then the major arcana is kind of like a mix of everything. I know this deck was originally out in the 90s and then recently got reprinted, but it doesn't come with like a really big guidebook. That's my one. My three, okay, I love this deck, but my three big gripes, I will say right off the bat, is that the cards are massive, and I don't like that, and there's nothing I can do about it. I really wish the cards were a little bit smaller, because I've got long fingers, but it's just, I hate decks that are huge. The box is like that flimsy US Games box that they gotta stop doing that stuff. Because they just fall apart, and I have no idea what that is. I'm not even sure if my camera picked that up. It sounded like a bat or something. And then the last thing that I don't really like about this deck is that it does not come with a big guidebook, and it should, because any tarot deck that is more mythological based or has a big story behind it needs to come with a guidebook. But as you can see, these cards are huge. Like, they are massive. My hand hurts from holding this deck. But what I really do like about it is I am a very big myth and legend nerd. I love stuff like that. I love lore. So a tarot deck that basically tells these stories, I was like, yes, I need to have this in my life. But I do love the Arthurian legend. My youngest son is named Arthur. So, but the other big reason why I wanted this deck is because it has the two Japanese deities that created the islands of Japan. So this is Izanami and Izanagi. And they created the islands of Japan, and I always really loved that myth. So, in fact, Izanami becomes the queen of the underworld because she gets pulled into the land of the dead, and, well, well, she basically dies giving birth to the fire god, and then she gets pulled into the land of the dead, basically, and so Izanagi goes to find her, and by then she's basically become kind of ghoulish, and so she becomes angry because he hasn't come to save her soon enough, and so she chases him through the underworld, and he escapes, and she basically tells him that for every sun that rises, I think it's like, if I remember correctly, it's for every sun that rises, she will take lives, basically symbolizing, and he says in retort that he will create lives, and so basically thus creates life and death, the cycle of life and death, which I thought was really awesome. But the other thing that I really wanted to show you guys, thing that made my heart like jump for this deck, was I was watching, I first came across it when Kittens, Weights, and Tarot did a review of this, and this card did it for me. I was like, I need this deck. If you guys have seen like the huge tattoo on my arm that's of a geisha, but also, you know, it's got the Arthurian legend in it as well, and Egyptian mythology, which kind of reminds me of my childhood because my older brother really liked Egyptian mythology, and I remember hearing a lot about it and stuff when I was little as well, and learning the myths of that. And then I really want to dive into understanding more of the Native American myths in here, because I quite frankly don't know them super well, and I grew up in a part of the country where Native American culture is actually rather prevalent. So but I know obviously each tribe has their own stories, they have their own ways of telling things and whatnot. But I would like to know specifically, according to the stories in this deck, I would really like to know what those stories are, because I love stories, I love myths, I love legends. So I was really, really excited to get this deck. Just got that today. Alright, done rambling about that. Okay, so this might be a little bit of a long video, guys. But I just kind of wanted to get my fun little ramble in there first. On to my full moon reading. Oh, let's see what cards come up. So for the last, I think most of this month so far, I have been working with the Sasurobito Tarot, and or the Sassy Burritos, I've heard people call it, but I know how to pronounce it because I took Japanese, so but I think Sassy Burrito is kind of funny. I know I've shared this in one of my videos too, that I recently got this in a trade as well, so I've been very happy to finally do away with the decks that I didn't connect with and get decks that I hopefully will connect with a little better. Bye! And this deck, it was another one that does a nod to Japanese culture, it does a nod to Buddhism, and the artist is also from the Pacific Northwest, as I am. So I really, really wanted to, I can't say that I supported her because I got this through a trade, but I follow her on Instagram, and I really am enjoying this deck. The other reason why I wanted to work with this deck is because it seems very heavy on human emotion, and I felt like it would be a really good deck for, you know, self-work. So tonight I am going to do, I actually thought about doing this live, but I didn't really, you know, let anybody know that I would have been going live, so I didn't even think I would have an audience, so I figured I would just do a video this way. But tonight I figured I would do a full moon reading, and normally I do Ethany's Tarot of the Moon, and I usually write it in my Book of Mirrors, and then I transfer it over into my tarot journal, which I will be doing later. But I had just noticed as of yesterday that Samantha Menzo had started releasing that she also has spreads that she has created for every full moon in the zodiac, and so I figured tonight I would try hers, because I actually really liked some of the questions that that she had in this spread, and they are some things that honestly were kind of in relation to what I have been feeling lately. So let's give my cards a shuffle, let's give this a shot, and I will do a reading on camera and see What tarot gets to tell me tonight? So there are 4 questions, and the first question is, what mystical energy will this full moon bring? You know, the full moon is in Pisces. Pisces is a very intuitive sign, and my youngest son is a Pisces, so okay, I think you want to come out. The second question is, what are my emotions swimming to? There was a knot in my chest as soon as I said that. Like, do I really want to know what my emotions are swimming to? Guess we're gonna find out. Oh, okay, wait a second. All right. So most of my decks I side shuffle like this, which actually I didn't fully learn how to do until last year. And now recently I've been teaching myself how to riffle shuffle, but I only riffle shuffle certain decks because I don't like the bow that it gives. So, as tempting as it is to riffle shuffle, because as soon as you learn how to do it, it's so satisfying. You just want to do it all the time. But I also, when I read tarot, I also shuffle, ask the question, draw the card, ask the next question, shuffle, draw that card, take deep breaths. If anything jumps out, or I kind of get like a electric, the only way I can describe it is kind of like a electric vibration that goes up my spine. That's usually how my intuitive hits tend to like manifest in a physical way. So I will get like a chill up my spine. And that usually means stop, pull the card. At least in this case. What illusions, so the third question is, what illusions have I allowed myself to be tricked by? You got one right there, okay. The fourth question is, how can I best flow into my heart's desires? Yep, okay. I thought it would be really fun for you guys to see me do this. So I've never done anything like this on camera, and I just figured, let's give it a shot. So once again, for the first question, it is, what mystical energy will this full moon bring? Sorry guys, I'm dyslexic. I got the Page of Cups. So the interesting thing that I first noticed about this card, and I'm going to kind of take my own interpretation of the imagery and then read off the guidebook, is that she has got a keyhole right here, and then she is holding the key, and she's got this look on her face like, I've got this. I know what my heart wants. I know what my heart needs. And the other interesting thing is she's holding a bow. And we all know bows are precision. They are used to direct, to a point. Take the myth of Cupid, for example. He fires arrows into you, and all of a sudden your energy shifts. You feel love. So that's kind of the intuitive hits that I'm getting just looking at this imagery and how this applies to what mystical energy will this full moon bring. Hopefully I'm moving into a more of a place of self-acceptance and self-strength, and a calmness in learning that inner storm. So it's something that waxes and wanes with me. So I'm going to take a peek at the guidebook and kind of go from there. So blind. Okay. It says, thoughtful, sentimental, romantic. In some decks, this card is shown as Cupid. Wow, I didn't even know that. That's kind of funny. The young woman on this card holds a key showing that her heart is easy access, Feelings flow easily for her, and she is good at listening to her heart and gut. This card could indicate advancement of a relationship or the suggestion of to be more open and loving, to display acts of affection and generosity. And I believe this has to do really more with my own self-care. I do think that it does have to also play into my magic, myself as a witch, and integrating self-care into my spirituality, because I feel like that is the core of my self-care. If I can be more spiritual, then I'm a happier person. So that's what I take from that card. So we're going to move on to the next card now. The second question, once again, is what are my emotions swimming to? Ooh. Okay, I got the 10 of Wands. This has been my stalker card in this deck lately. I've gotten this card like 3 times in the last week. So I see this person being weighed down. They're just being pummeled by these sticks. Everything is so heavy, they can barely lift their head. They don't know how to keep their head up. And my emotions have been feeling very overwhelmed. They're heightened. This is the full moon again in Pisces. I'm a water moon sign. I am feeling that energy rather intensely. I've had a lot on my mind. I've had a lot of burden. I've had a lot of weight to my emotions. So honestly, I don't even think I need to go further with this one, because that's pretty straightforward. I think this time I'm not gonna read from the guidebook. I'm gonna go forward, because that was nail on the head for me. All right, so the third question once again is, what illusions have I allowed myself to be tricked by? 8 of Pentacles. Okay, so this is interesting. We see, I love this depiction of the 8 of Pentacles. We see this man. He's dressed in what looks like a Buddhist robe, a Buddhist monk robe, and he's sitting on top of a pile of books, and he's just got his nose deep in all of that knowledge. And as we know, the 8 of Pentacles is really kind of connecting with the artisan type, the artisan of yourself, the creation of putting in that hard work and that that training and absorbing that knowledge and refining your craft. So I'm trying to, this always happens when I'm reading tarot. Sometimes it doesn't always come to me. Sometimes it would even come to me a few days later where I'll be like, oh, that's what that card meant. But I'm looking at this and I'm seeing, I'm almost seeing this illusion that this sort of imposter syndrome with creating and creativity and honing in on my craft. I'm feeling as though I tell myself everything I do is not good enough. And I have gotten a lot better about this over the years, but this is something I have struggled with for a really long time, and a lot of it was because of the stuff that was brought up when I was in school. I just was not encouraged well enough. It's a deep shadow of mine, and I tell myself this lie all the time. I say I'm not good enough. I say I can't encourage people. I can't inspire people. I underestimate the power that I have, and I underestimate the refinement that I can give to my craft. So that's what I see in this card. I see that illusion of me telling myself that I can't obtain this, that this is not something that I can do because I am not good enough. And I think that is something that I really needed to be told. So, bravo, Sazurabito Tarot. All right, the fourth card is, how can I best flow into my heart's desires? And I got the 4 of Wands. So we have a lot of some wand energy, cups, and yeah, we've got all 4 suits here. This is really interesting. So we have all 4 elements in this reading. Maybe that is also indicating this card, which I see a connection, a balance between these 4 wands. And most of the time I associate the 4 wands with connection or celebration or all that stuff. So This one, though, I think I'm going to take a peek at the guidebook just because I think I need a little bit more inspiration to help get those those thoughts going on where I think this might be going. Sometimes I do that if I feel lost, which, you know what? If you guys need to do that with your tarot readings, by all means, the guidebooks are there for a reason, and I love referring to what the artist, what their thoughts were on these cards. I just love that. And in the Sacerdotito, she's incredible for talking about why she chose what she did for the specific art, for each specific card. And I love that so much. I love when artists are like, I did this because of this reason, and specifically with tarot. Okay, celebration, happiness, freedom. The lucky card in the deck. This card shows a stable structure floating on a starry sky. It is time to enjoy the results of your hard work, to celebrate a milestone, an anniversary, or just have a party. This is a super positive card, one indicating joy and fun. The structure, with all its four sides, resembles home. This card concerns your home life and environment. Okay. Yep, there it is. Okay, so this is why it's good for me to sometimes refer to the guidebook, because I will sometimes make the connection that I'm missing. If this is specifically referring to home life and how can I best flow into my heart's desires, a lot of the time, and I think this has to honestly do with my Cancerian moon sign, I crave stability. I have to have a foundation to stand upon. Otherwise I can't function. And so I try to crave stability in my home life. I try to keep my home clean, because clutter kind of sparks my anxiety and things like that. That's just one example. But so I think maybe kicking up some energy in my home, maybe doing maybe doing a cleansing, maybe rearranging some furniture, maybe getting some creative juices going on in here as we go through the changes of the seasons. Often that is really important to do as you switch from one season to another, to change up the energy, to often cleanse your house. I've been feeling those energies. I tend to get that itch in the fall, that like spring cleaning that people get in the spring. I tend to get it in the fall. I don't know. Just because fall is my favorite season, and I want to make my house cozy and homey, and then my peace, my desires, my harmony flows from that. So that's kind of what I take from that card. So yeah, this reading really honestly did make a lot of sense to me, and I hope you guys enjoyed me doing a reading on camera for myself. Like I said, I don't really read aside from for family and friends, but I'm always willing to practice. So if anybody ever does want me to do a reading for them, I can give it a shot. I'm still a novice tarot reader, but it's something I'm very passionate about, and it's something that I've really been diving into specifically more this last year and a half. I think, honestly, you know, the passing of my mother last year kind of sparked a lot of me diving deep into my spiritual practice, which I think is what she would have wanted. But that aside, I just really wanted to thank Samantha Menzo for making this really awesome spread. Thank you so much. I might have to refer back to my own videos so I can write this down in my book of mirrors, because usually I write it down as I'm going, but since I'm on camera, yeah. So thank you, Samantha. That was awesome. I hope you release more of these in the future, and I would love to continue to do them. I honestly might even do them alongside Ethany's, because I always need insight. Let's face it. But yeah, this video ran a little bit long, but I just thought it'd be really fun to include that tarot reading. So I hope you guys have a wonderful full moon. I hope you have a wonderful full harvest moon on Friday the 13th, the last one until the 2070s. Blessed be, guys. I'll see you in my video tomorrow.